Just like a toddler, taking the first step could seem like the most difficult thing to do. On today's episode of the show, we'll be finding out just what it entails to take the first step. My name is Lyrical Jo, and this is The Conversation. Hey people, welcome to The Conversation. And on today's episode of the show, I have with me Lyrical Jo. Thank you so much for being on the show. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to, honor us on the show.
Thank you for having me. I feel blessed
already. Okay, so basically, today's show, what we'll be talking about is, what it takes to take or make the first step. For most people, they find it difficult to make that first move. It's always the first move for most people. They don't know how to go about it and all. But before we dive into that, your fans would love to know you. We would love to know you. I will love to know you because I know you as Lyrical Jo.
Okay, my name is Chibike Jonathan. I am from Imo State.
Wow.
Yes, but popularly known as Lyrical Jo. Or Geographics. I'm a graphic designer and a singer.
Wow.
Amongst others.
We'll get to know the others in due course.
It's alright.
Okay, so how did you start off as a graphic designer? I'm more interested in that aspect, that angle.
Alright.
The graphic designer. How did you start as a graphic designer? Were you born, you just came into the world and started designing,
Okay, first of all, I'll say, the Lord Himself designed me to be in the world at this time. Come on. But then the journey of graphic design wasn't something I found myself doing. I started as an artist.
Oh, wow.
I used to write way back in school, draw all those paper cards, birthday cards, even love cards. All those cards that we do in secondary school.
Yeah.
I was the major plug.
Wow.
Yes, and then
I'll meet you after the show for a love card.
so she came.
I'm not in love, Shabot. I'll meet you.
When you want to be in love. And then I was doing all of that.
Yeah.
And somehow, I think when I was in SS1 or 2, my dad, I had this cousin who was into printing.
Okay.
So my dad was like, I should join you, but I wasn't really interested until 2008 or thereabout.
Okay.
Popsy made me to be doing some work for Microsoft, So something that other people would just type straight on Microsoft, I always find a way to beautify it. Microsoft's 97 that year.
Oh.
Those old Microsofts. So from there, small, I started noticing that I was actually doing beyond just the normal typing.
Yeah.
Then I discovered Corel Draw 9.
Okay.
Yes. Then I started using it. I think sometime last year, I stumbled upon one of my own designs and I laughed. It was very funny.
It looks
and
like
it was a vacancy design.
No, I'm just guessing.
They actually look like where two elephants were fighting. And it continued like that, and then while I was in film school, because I studied film.
Oh, wow.
While I was in film school, I then, I got to understand that there's something called graphic design actually. So I made small research. I said, this is how it goes, this is how it goes. So I intentionally put the effort to do it. But then I was still doing it as just a normal guy. Until some years ago, let's say 2013, I designed my first magazine.
Wow.
And it's still in my office and it looks very funny.
Oh.
Very funny. In fact, I designed the whole magazine of almost 60 pages and they didn't pay me. They bought one jean for me. One jean trouser.
Wait, how much was that? Like 1.5?
I don't know. I just saw jean based on, and it's not even as if he had plans of buying it. It was just that someone now told the guy that, this guy is real, buy one jean. So that's how they got me the jean, and then because I used to do small flyers, but my first major work was that.
Okay.
Then I think a year after, 2014, then I actually started, publicizing myself as a graphic designer in 2014. And ever since it has been from one level of growth to the other. So let me come back to the question, because all of this is just like a summary.
Yeah.
But then I believe where we're coming from now is the step that has brought us to where we are.
Yeah.
Like the intentional step. Okay, so for me, I would say that it's actually not difficult to make the first step.
Okay.
From my own point of view, from my own experience.
Okay.
And then from experience, I would say the difficult thing is actually consistency. Because I know a whole lot of people that have started something and then somewhere along the line, they even forget that they even had something going.
Yeah.
So it's very important to take the first step, which is technical because it requires a lot of guts, requires a lot of determination, some sort of energy. Because we all know there's this saying, the initial gragra. That one, it requires a lot of ginger to bring out that gragra.
Yeah.
Then what happens afterwards? That's where the challenge is. So it wasn't a difficult one, so to say. I'm sure one of the reasons why you understand why I said it wasn't a difficult one is because of the background.
Yes.
So right from it just did my blood. I just
it did for
body. Slap from, I think from just 2, I started doing all of that.
Oh.
So I just swam into it. Say a word like that. Passes of swimming.
Check. Watching it is swam.
I still as a being swam. So I just found myself, I just flow like that. So it wasn't really a challenge, so to say, So the only part I'll say was much of a challenge. And why it was a challenge is because of, I wanted to say the Nigerian factor. But money was a challenge. That point where I needed to set up my office, my first physical office. I was using my house, or officially as geographics, because I wasn't initially geographics. I had plenty names.
Plenty. Well, today it will be this one.
In fact, there was a time they were calling me antivirus.
Was that during Ebola?
No. Okay. Way back.
Okay.
Way back 2000. Oh my God.
I know you're an old man.
2008, 9. No, now I'm just very, very young. You'll be surprised if you know my age.
I will be. I'll be surprised.
So.
Yeah.
What were we saying, Seth?
Okay, so you were talking about, I think, consistency. Setting up your new office.
So
yes.
When I started, small, then I was using single concepts.
Okay.
Single concepts.
Do I know?
No, that one didn't go far. I was actually using it before I got this job at Bauchi. It's a multimedia house, and then the previous management had wrecked it, and then the guy was looking for a new set of staff to be able to revive it. Yeah. So we got this job in 2018, where we moved to Bauchi and we were working at this place, and it was fun. But we didn't serve more than 4 months, and then we resigned.
Okay.
The moment we returned to Jos, that was the point where I was like, officially, we just have to let's get started officially. So I rented an apartment at Tudmoda.
Okay.
Then I was using my room as my
Your studio.
My bed was on the other side. Then my laptop, printer, photocopier, scanner, everything was just there, small. Because before the entire process, I used to, if I get small money, I'll buy one small printer and keep. Tomorrow I'll buy scanner, next tomorrow I'll buy, So I had just a few things. So I was working from home and it was fun actually. I did that for about a year. And then sometime in 2019, sometime around July, I got my first apprentice.
Oh wow.
Yes. Funny enough, he was my next door neighbor. My next compound neighbor. He just finished writing his WAEC and stuff. Yeah. So I was just going out one day. I was coming to town to get some stuff. Then I saw this young guy. There was something very different about him. So I just asked him, how far? What's your name? He told me. What do you do? He told me. And I was like, okay. Would you like? What do you do? He said nothing. So I was like, okay. Would you like to learn what I do? He was like, what do you do? So I said, I'm a graphic designer. He said, yes, I'll learn. Oh. So just like Jesus did for the disciples, I said, follow me. He just went in, took a shirt, and followed me.
Wow.
So that's how I was moving. Now that particular move was another very important point in my life.
Okay.
Because barely 2 weeks after I started working with him. Then I felt the need to move from my room. I'm like, no. I mean,
I have an
I
apprentice.
couldn't
I
feel
shouldn't be
boss.
like boss. So I
You
cannot
understand?
be working in my room. I mean,
So we started scouting us, looking for space. We walked around. The first one we were supposed to get, oh, thank God we didn't get that place. Till today, my money still in their hand. I'm telling you, so we had this space. If I got that space, man, I wouldn't have forgiven myself. But thank God that it happened the way it did. Because the day we came to wash the place, then the father came and was quarreling us that what are we doing in space?
so
And his son gave the space without consent. Okay, give me back my money. It can't become problem. He didn't give me up to half of the money I gave him until today. And finally we got the space, we got to the mother park. And now that was the challenging part. But God always makes provision before the need arises. So there was something God did. For like 3 months I was working on this project, very heavy project. Imagine doing like 15 samples. Keep going round. And then I think 4 days before I got the space, they approved the work.
Oh wow.
And then I was to make 1,000 copies of a 156 pages book.
Wow.
That was actually my biggest project then.
Wow.
When I finished about some kind 100 and something. Yeah, I was feeling like senior man. But it still not do me. But that was where we officially had our office open. And then we kept moving. There's one thing we always do now, as a brand. Every year we have to achieve something big. So in 2019 we got the first space, which was just barely this size.
Oh.
Yeah. But it's expensive. It was expensive. Then 2020 we moved to a bigger space that's like 3 times bigger than that one. And then like 1 week after we moved in, say we should go lockdown. So but mom we're back. It's been fun. And the good thing about the whole process is consistency that I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Because we have had our downtimes, we've had several reasons to want to give up, we have had many challenges. But not the problem or the challenge, but the issue wasn't starting.
It was
It's now
maintaining.
maintaining consistency. Sometimes I'll just come to the office and you stay the whole day.
And then there's
Nothing. Then I made a post on Facebook one time. I said, "Dear entrepreneur, some days your duty is not to make money. Your duty is to just go and make sure your office is open."
Wow. You heard that?
So just go and make sure your office is open. Because it so happened that on several occasions, that you just come to the office, there's no work, there's no money. Somebody will be like, "Yeah, I was passing yesterday and I saw your shop open, but I was in a hurry." Did you get? So I said I was going to come back. So what if the office wasn't open yesterday? Good. So we try as much as possible to maintain consistency, and by God's grace, it's taking us from grace to grace.
Oh, nice. Wow. So you see, always keep your office open. You never can tell the day nor the hour.
Miracle coming your way.
Wow, nice. So, how has business been? Now you've spoken about consistency and everything. Quickly, how has business been for you? Okay, you've been consistent for how many years now? Professionally, for how many years now?
4 years. 4 years as a business, like
as a business, yes. Not as a hobby or something you
yes,
love to
not
do
as
as
a
a
hobby
business.
or yes.
Exactly. So within these 4 years now, what would you say the journey has been like for you? You have different clients and everything. How has it been for you?
Okay, the journey has actually been a challenging one. First of all, for someone like me who doesn't like to stay at one place, I always try to make one small move, no matter how small. So it always puts my brain at, in competition with itself. I'll be here and then my head will tell me, don't you think you need to put your wallpaper there? Me that is probably still owing house rent. Then my head is telling me, just this one is just so the challenge has actually been trying to grow. But then at the same time, it's like a setup. At the same time, it is a good thing. Because the moment you fix your mind to grow or to do business, that's the point where you face more challenges that open you up to more breakthroughs. So it has been challenging because, first of all, let's use the Jos factor. I'm sorry to say, but Jos. Thank God for Jos. Jos is a very beautiful place.
Thank God for Jos. It's a very beautiful city. You should come and see Jos, just in case you have not come to Jos. Jos is a very beautiful city.
And we have very great designers in Jos.
Yes,
Jesus.
we do.
We have one of the best designers. We have a handful of some of the best designers I've known. Inspiring guys, hardworking guys. So it has been challenging because sometimes you don't always get what you expect. Sometimes clients come and then they're like, I want to have this done. I finish explaining all the magic, like from my own what I do. To explain the entire magic and expect you to be a spiritual person. And I want it, bend it like this, give it one effect like a glass,
Then it should be looking as if there's water, blue water, and then, but it's not water.
The way you're talking like as if you have suffered one graphic
no. Don't worry. I bake so I know when the client tells you. I want the cake to look as if it is it's aquatic design. Let it look like water, but it's not. Let it not be looking like gel. I'm asking myself, you're supposed to use oil paint.
And then the challenge is at the end of the day, their budget's not even reach for just cupcake.
Exactly.
So from the one of the challenges as a business is trying to get your own clients. From the beginning, one of the things I got wrongly was that I thought I could serve everybody. I was really working myself out because this one calls, sends you a job, you do it as he's calling, another person's calling, you should do it. Just stressed up. And then at the end of the day, you won't even be on your A game. So one of the challenges was finding my own clients. This kind, I know the pattern of design I do. So when I see people who love my pattern of design and they are ready to keep up with my T&Cs, then, but it's somehow difficult to get people to, to be able to understand that, okay, this is a business. And now one of the other things that has been a challenge is friends. You should be careful. Friends and family, we love you. We love you. But please, business is business.
Yes, business is business.
Because sometimes they come around and they don't know that these are the things you use to pay bills, both for the business and then for yourself. And then they come and they explain everything and expect you to do one magic and just give them the work for free. So some of the challenges is sometimes getting jobs done for these acquaintances. Now let me correct myself, because a friend or a good friend will not want you to work without paying. He knows the value of what you do.
True.
So acquaintances are those people that they are just
around to just take advantage.
Yes. So doing work for those kind of people is really it was challenging, because initially I felt he's my guy, he's my friend. Not everybody is your guy. No this and no peace. Not everybody is your guy. There was a time that 90% of the jobs I was doing was for free. And the problem, truthfully, was not the fact that it was free. My personal problem was the fact that these people don't even value what I was doing for them. You tell me that you want to start a shoe business, and then I'm like, okay, the best gift I can give you is to do some design for you, social media design, maybe give you one logo and stuff. They don't even know that logo alone is one of the expensive things we do on that branding, like the branding package. And then I'll give it to you for free, and then they're just like, about client, I'm getting your own client. Just do your best, do you, and then your client will find you. They'll find you, and then it will make work a lot easier for you. Because the moment I found that out, or the moment I experienced that, I know they stress myself to work again. I'm telling you, of recent, some people are like, oh, well, guy, you did chill, or hello, guy, how far, where you did? Maybe around like 5. I say I'm at home. You're like, this is me that sometimes I spend like 4 days in the office. I won't go home. Maybe the only thing that will take me home is to go and freshen up and come back. But 5 o'clock, I'm at home and nobody, I'm not under pressure to do. Because these people now, they understand the value of what we're doing. And then we understand that they understand, and we are not taking advantage of that fact.
Yeah.
So when I tell them, okay, your work will be ready by, I would love to take my time to do your job. So your work will be ready by weekend. If I touch it small, I'll go and rest. They are not stressing me and they are paying you well. You know, so find your clients, just do you and keep trying to grow. Keep trying to grow. The financial aspect of business hasn't been a rosy one. Especially truthfully for some of us, and I know say we plenty, for some of us who only have ourselves and our God to provide our needs. We don't have anybody in this life that has say
we are not rich kids.
We are not rich kids, so when it comes to the fact where you know that you are your own government, you get everything done for yourself, and then it's not like you have all the monies in the world. You're trying to grow, you're trying to live, and then you have a family, and then there's a whole lot around your financial space, but then you still need to keep moving. Then take for example, right now I have like 4 staff.
Oh wow.
And then you now tell yourself that you have to pay salaries for 4 staff every month. So
and whether they work to your standard or they don't, you have to pay them.
So it hasn't been a funny one, but thank God for His grace. Thank God for the spirit of consistency, because that has actually paid. There used to be a time that we go to the office, like 1 week, no major job comes in, and then by God's grace, we've consistently satisfied our clients. And then more of the jobs we get these days are just referrals. Yeah, hello, please, is this geographics? Yes, okay, Mr. So give me your number. You did this for him. I'd love to have something like this. I'm like, alright, thank you, sir. This is the after all said and done, you send me my money, I'll do your work, and tomorrow another one will still come, But it wouldn't have been that way if we didn't succeed in consistency and job delivery.
Yeah, true.
There's one thing we believe: you cannot play with the quality of my work. I've fired certain people because they tampered with the quality of my work. I don't joke with the quality. So by the time we got to discover that people love quality, and then we know how to deliver quality. So let's put it together and do it consistently. It's not about today you deliver quality, tomorrow you're slacking, next tomorrow you try again. Then we try by God's grace and by our efforts, intentionally now to deliver quality back to back. So it keeps speaking. So the what again?
You have a whole lot. Okay.
There's a very long story in my head.
Okay, so you've spoken about how that taking the first step is not actually even the difficult part of everything. It is consistency. And we've spoken about business. Yeah. So now there are a lot of people who are listening and watching you that have difficulties in taking the first step. But now we all now know that taking the first step is not the problem, but that is how to stay relevant and remain, consistency. So what would you say quickly? So this is more like your last words to your guys watching you. Yeah. So what would you say to people who lack consistency or don't know how to go about it?
Okay, I want to say something. As much as in the beginning I said taking the first step wasn't really a challenge, but now the challenge is taking the right step. Do you understand? Because you might take the moment you find yourself lacking in consistency, there's every tendency that is not the right step. It's just like trying to go somewhere and then you're in the wrong direction.
You'll never get there.
You never get there. And then you keep battling within your head whether am I at the right place or not? Am I at okay, this place, there's this saying that when you don't know where you're going to, everywhere will look like it.
Yeah.
So when you are in the wrong track, challenges and challenges. But now, as much as you want to take the first step, search within to make sure it's the right step. The step in the right direction will help your consistency level. Because there is no how you take the first step and then take the second and then the third, and you'll be encouraged to take the fourth. So each step in the right direction encourages you to take the next. So I would want to say that you should do your best to take the right step. There's something I'm looking for that I wanted to. Okay, let's get it.
So,
or this is the final last word.
Yeah, actually, this is the final last word. But you know, something you said got me. Yeah, taking the first step in the right direction helps your consistency level. Hey, Twitter, straight to Twitter.
Yeah.
It's been amazing having you on the show. I mean, I've learned a lot, you know, and I'm sure a lot of people too listening to you would, because it's actually going to help my approach too, starting from now. So it's been amazing on the show. I am very grateful. Thank you for taking time out of your very busy schedule, because I know you're a very busy person. Someone that stays 4 days in the office now decided to come today for this interview.
So let me add something.
Okay.
You know, the last time we were talking and then we said he's a graphic designer and also a musician. So there's this song I wrote.
Okay.
It's titled Living Dreams.
Okay.
The song is 7 years old now.
Okay.
But every day I listen to it, it sounds very fresh.
Hmm.
You know, it talks about keeping your dreams alive, keeping your direction. This last thing I said reminded me of that.
Oh wow.
Keep your direction, keep your dreams alive.
Hmm.
Once you're in the right direction, the zeal to want to keep burning will be there.
Will be there.
You know, and then this thing, and then when you start, consistently keep following them. And then the last thing that I saw just before the interview, don't you dare give up now. You've survived some of the hardest days and still managed to thrive. You never know what magic awaits around the corner. The future is full of unexpected possibilities for everyone, but especially those who remain optimistic and continue walking the path. So, to you who is listening, keep your direction, keep your dreams alive, keep your direction, keep your dreams alive. Keep your direction. Keep your dreams alive. Keep your direction.
Now he's looking at me. I will keep my direction.
Thank you very much. Peace
You
out.
have a nice voice, like the way, but
Yeah,
not
I'm
nice.
sure.
I know not as nice as mine.
I know that.
Okay, guys. So this has been the conversation, and we have been talking about, you know, taking the first step and being consistent at whatever it is you are onto. You know, I've had Lyrical in the building, Lyrical Jo, by the way, in the building. And this is still KR8 Studios, and of course we are KR8, and this has been the conversation. You know, you can follow us on all our social media platforms or at KR8 Radio. Follow us, like all our posts. You can also follow us on YouTube, subscribe, make sure you hit the like button and then subscribe, that bell, hit it, and yes, very important. And make sure you drop us a comment after you are done watching this episode of the conversation. You can also follow me on Instagram at Rainwell, on Facebook too at Rainwell. My name is Rainwell, and this has been the conversation.